Okay, for this cooking project we're going to be using a spaghetti squash. This is a vegetable spaghetti squash. It's an heirloom from Baker Creek Seeds. Good size one. Makes a lot of noodles. I'm going to cut the ends off of it. I'm going to split it down the middle and lay it back on the tray, and we're going to bake it about 375 for probably, big as that is, probably take 20-30 minutes. Let's have a check, see when it's soft. And we'll take a fork and we'll get the noodles out. I've got this one cut apart. You can see it's getting old. The seeds are starting to sprout. It's actually trying to grow within inside itself. These seeds are savable. They're heirloom, open pollinated. They reproduce really well, as you can see. I got bean sprouts. I gotta get this dug out. We're gonna dig all the seeds and this stuff loose. We'll bake it really slow. All this flesh here will turn to spaghetti noodles. Now what I use was a big spoon to scoop them out. They're a little tough. You can see the strings in there. That's what your spaghetti squash is going to look a lot like, so you can't get it all out. You're going to eventually pull stuff out that looks like that. But this is fairly clean as far as I'm concerned. Getting ready to put it in the oven. You won't run low on seeds, that's for sure. I mean, it's just, if you decide to grow them, you've got seeds. From now on, you'll put them up. Well, the bacon's done. I cooked them till they got kind of soft and didn't want them really get brown. I've done scrape one of them out. You can see it's not much left. Made quite a bit of noodles out of that half. For the ones that hadn't seen this, some people don't know what spaghetti squash is. I'm just going to show you. Hard to do this one-handed, but you just scrape with a fork all the way around the edges, and you get noodles. The next thing I've done is cut my chicken up in little squares, and I've put it in the water to cook for a few minutes. Now I'm not trying to cook the chicken all the way through, but I'm trying to build a good broth, a good flavor. Now I want to cook some of the juices out of the chicken where the broth would help flavor the chicken. I'm going to dip the chicken out here in a few minutes. I'm going to finish the broth up, cook it down a little bit, add some more seasoning, make sure it's good and strong, and we're going to start putting this together. The large spaghetti squash that I cooked was enough to put some in all 6 jars. I put some chicken at the top. Now I'm leaving some room for juice. The spaghetti noodles don't really absorb juice, but they're not going to swell. I don't want to fill it over the top either. I want to give it room to move around. Hopefully in that hour and 15 minutes these will cook, because the chicken, everything will absorb some of the juice, and I want to make sure there's plenty in it. But it made 6 pints. The chicken was 3 chicken breasts. I cubed them, put some salt and pepper, probably a tablespoon each, and I don't know, 1.5 quarts, 2 quarts of water, probably 1.5 quarts of water. And cook the chicken just for a few minutes to get the flavor out of the chicken. I'm going to show you my chicken stock I got on the stove. I'm getting ready to pour in here. I put it back on the stove without the chicken. I've added some onion and some pepper, probably a cup of each. And I'm going to season it with a little more salt and a little more pepper to make sure it's good and strong before I add it to this. And we're going to add it to the top of the jars, top them off with juice, put the lids on them. I've already got the canner sitting on the stove heating up. We're going to can these for, I think it's an hour and 15 minutes. I'll check it and make sure, but I think chicken in a pint is an hour and 15 minutes. Now the sun's shining and the light's kind of dim in here today, but you can see it's heating back up. Got my onions and peppers in it. Salt, pepper, garlic, all the favorite things. I'm going to let this come to a boil for a few minutes and cook everything. Stir it, test it, make sure it's the way I want it to be, the flavor I want. We're finna can some chicken noodle soup. It did make 6 pints. I've got them filled to the top with juice. Left about a 1/2 inch gallp. Put the caps on. They're ready for the canner. I can put them over in the canner in about an hour and 15-20 minutes in the canner, and about 30 minutes for them to cool off. We'll take a look at them. Well, I finally got it done. Yeah, I know. There's 9. There's not 6. I got done the video and I realized it only made 6. I didn't have any left to eat, so I decided I'd double the recipe. So I made 3 more jars. Plus we had some for supper. It's pretty good eating stuff. It'll be a really good meal to open later on. I've got 9 pint jars out of it. I've done it 2 different styles. Of course, the video you've seen where I put the chicken in the top, noodles in the bottom. The noodles didn't stick back together. They are still apart. And these are 2 of the ones I done later on. I cooked it on the stove just like I was going to serve it. And I put it in the jars and canned it. The noodles are still separated, so they don't stick back together if you'll bake it, turn them in the noodles first, and then can it. That's 9 ready to go meals. We're on our way. We're getting started again. So that gives us another option. We have the succotash, we have the beans and potatoes that's already canned together. Of course, we've got beans in cans, but that's kind of a meal if you put bread with it. But this is another one. And we're going to start with these other recipes that we was given. We want to go over some of them and introduce them to you too. I hope you have a good week. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. If you will, hit the like button. Help us out. God bless.